Well, home sales in the GTA, they continue to drop in August, down by about 5.2% from the same period last year, according to the latest data from the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board. But the wild swings in the market earlier this year, well, they seem to have calmed down. So let's talk more about the numbers this morning. TREB's chief market analyst, Jason Mercer, joins us. Jason, the idea of a calming market must sound pretty good to a lot of people because it's really been a series of fluctuations over the last several years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's even been an interesting period of time since January of this year where, the Bank of Canada raised rates, what a lot of people thought would be the last time. And then we started to see the market heat up, and then inflation didn't get under control, and the Bank of Canada started raising rates again. And so, now obviously this morning we'll see where their stance is there. But I think, a lot of households who otherwise would have purchased a home have kind of been on the sidelines because they're taking that wait and see attitude. Where are we going in terms of borrowing costs? Where are we going in terms of the broader economy, jobs, etc.
How challenging has it been for you to be making your forecasts and numbers when it comes to the Bank of Canada? The expectations in so many cases that, they may have paused a lot earlier than they did. It looks like there won't be an increase today, and Avery Schenfeld, at least from CIBC, thinks that they're sort of finished hiking rates. How much more of a challenge has that been to sort of make projections in this environment?
Well, I think certainly at the beginning of the year when we released our forecast, we thought that, sales were going to be, off the pace that we'd seen over the last number of years. I think the main thing is sort of seeing how that's going to unfold, even within a given year. We had thought that, you'd probably see a weaker first half and then things would start turning around in the second, whereas, in reality, we've seen a little bit more volatility than that. But I think, in terms of overall sales and overall price, we're more or less on track to what we figured we'd see given, the level of interest rates compared to where we were a year ago.
And again, Jason, whenever I speak to you, the Greenbelt controversy is all really around getting more houses built and faster. Supply just isn't there. So when the supply isn't there, the type of homes people are looking to move into, it's slim, so the prices remain fairly high in those cases, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's the case. Like looking forward, even a year from now, I mean, we're seeing the population grow at a record pace, and that's impacting both the ownership and rental market. And yet, year to date, new listings are off. And so right now, market conditions are somewhat balanced. But as soon as we start to see people move back into the market, that'll change in a hurry. And that's a concern that you go from home prices that are certainly off where we were, say, February of 2022, but they start to climb back there very, very quickly. And we'll be in an environment where interest rates are higher than what we were used to during the pandemic.
Yeah, exactly, making the affordability much more of a challenge. Right. It was interesting. We had Councillor Brad Bradford sitting right where you are about an hour ago, talking about his motion that he's going to deliver to City Council today, talking about the idea of raising the ability to get a rebate on your first-time purchase from $400,000 to $750,000. He said that's around the price of an average condo. What do you make of that idea to try to, maybe that may stimulate a bit of the market here in Toronto?
Yeah, I think it's a really good point, and we spoke to it in our release today as well, is that on the one hand, we're talking about, raising the threshold on higher priced homes, yet we haven't done anything for first-time buyers in more than a decade. And so the notion that you're exempt from the tax only at the $400,000 level doesn't make a lot of sense, to Councillor Bradford's point, where, the average condo is coming in at about $750,000. And so, on the one hand, we're talking about revenue generation, but on the other hand, we're also talking about affordability. And, that upfront land transfer tax really hits first-time home buyers hard who haven't had the opportunity to save up a lot in terms of a down payment and what have you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? That land transfer tax, that really puts the scare factor in a lot of people because, A, it's a one thing, but when you're adding that on to much bigger mortgage payments, that can really put a chill on really what you can afford.
Yeah, or it just takes away from your ability to put more of a down payment down, to have more equity to sort of insulate yourself against, the fluctuations in the market like we're going through right now.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, listen, Jason Mercer from TREB, always appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us this morning. Good to look at those numbers.
You bet.